Welcome in to the 55th episode of the Southern Boy Sports Podcast. My name is Joel. My co-host Ben Clay.
What's going on, guys?
Episode 55, back on the SBS mics. It's been a fun little week for us, Ben.
Yeah.
Loaded episode here in episode 55. Did it a little differently in episode 54. We talked about separate teams. We kind of did, instead of conferences and divisions, we broke it up. We did 3 separate teams. We're here to do the same thing on episode 55. 3 more really fun teams. If you clicked on the video, clicked on the audio, which we have launched on different platforms, by the way, Ben.
That is amazing.
So if you have clicked on those different links, we do appreciate you. You know which 3 teams we're talking about. It's the University of Southern Cal. We're talking about USC, talking about Texas, and talking about Miami. 3 pretty high-level, high-brand teams in 2023. But, Ben, let's talk a little bit about launching on some different sites. It's been a big week production-wise. We launched over on Apple Podcasts, which we've been trying to do for a while. Launched over on Google Podcasts, which is another thing we've been trying to do for a while, is extend the podcast to different platforms. And we're up on TikTok, Ben. We're up on TikTok.
Mm-hmm. You'll love to see it, and really, you gotta do something to get people's attention.
Yeah.
And those ways are TikTok, or where everyone can see it. You get platforms where anybody could stumble upon it, and that's something that happens. And so it's good to get the name out there.
It is. It's been a fun run. Over on YouTube, over on TikTok so far. 2 videos, 2 hate comments. So, we're just out here vibing with the TikTok crowd. But no, it has been good. I mean, we're getting high level views for where we are at right now, up to I think 40 likes over on the second video about Vanderbilt. So definitely check us out over on TikTok at @so_boy_sportspod. A little bit of a mix of our other 2 handles. And so it should be a lot of fun. Clips from the podcast over there, controversial, high-level clips. Should be a lot of fun. And try to improve the video quality over here on episode 55.
We're sorry.
Because we got cooked on TikTok, man. I can't remember who it was, but he said we were filming out of a clothing iron. So got to give him respect for creative roast. But the quality was not good on that episode, unfortunately.
It's not like we're completely disagreeing with you.
Yeah, no. I mean, that's what I said. I said basically. I mean, honestly, basically. So we are recording on a computer, so it's not a clothing iron for you wondering. But no, Ben, we've got a really fun episode here on episode 55, some creative segments that we've collectively come up with. But before we get to all that, before we do all that, how's this past week been treating you?
It's all right. We're getting it's the our final full week of summer. Yeah. So that is definitely sad, but we're getting to the weeks where it's no vacation, but you're getting to rest. You're getting to stay home.
Yep.
And so that stuff is nice. I'm excited to go back out there on the links on the golf course tomorrow.
Yeah.
That'll be a good one. Not recording this time. Hopefully we play a bit better without the cameras on.
Yeah.
But we'll see. And so it's just we're getting back into that gear of school.
Yeah. School sucks, man. School definitely, you need it. It's important, and especially trying to do the sports podcasting thing. Got some fun things coming, I feel like, this upcoming year.
Yeah.
Still got to talk to Mr. Story about doing play-by-play for the football season. I'm going to try and convince him to do that. Because, I mean, basically all you have to do is use what we're using right now, hook up a camera, and just record the game and do it that way. So we'll see. Still got to talk to our guy about that. But, no, Ben, we've got, trying to think, 3 fun segments planned here on episode 55. We've got a new segment, W and L of the Week.
Yeah, I know.
Really excited about this new segment. We used to do Tweet of the Week. That one kind of went away with time. I don't really know. That one just vanished.
Straggled.
Yeah. But no, and then we also have a fun little snake draft. I guess a back and forth draft on the 55th episode. That'll make for some good social media content. That's a new Pac-12 draft. All right.
I'm excited about that.
We'll explain the rules once we get there, but a new Pac-12 draft here coming on episode 55. And then, like I said, a preview into these 3 teams that we're talking about on the pod. Any objections early on before we get to our W's and L's of the week?
No, I'm set. Let's go.
You want me to go with the W first?
It's up to you.
Good news, bad news, that kind of conversation.
It's up to you.
Let's go W's first. I'll go dub, you go dub, I'll go L, you go L. My W of the week is a cop show over on Hulu, over on ABC. Ben knows I've been eating it up, man. It is The Rookie.
What?
Okay, pause. It is The Rookie, though. That show, man, is honestly it's honestly one of the better shows.
I know.
It's one of those shows that is really quality because the reading that I've done about how they do it is that they'll go to they'll get police stations and actual policemen and all this to come in and show them, is this realistic, is this not realistic, and obviously things are fabricated a little bit just because it's a TV show and people need to be watching it. But Dude, it's good, man. It's really good. They're coming out with season 6. I know in the pop culture world, there's like a writer and producer strike because they're not getting enough money. And like,
You know, I was
recognition
in
and all that.
when I was in New York, there was
Yeah.
one of those going on
Yeah,
Main
so-
Street, so I
yeah.
saw it all happen.
Yeah, so it's not going to be great for the production of season 6, but I'm winding down on season 5 right now. Kind of was late to the jump, but it is on ABC, it is on Hulu, and it is a absolute banger of a show. I've been watching it every night, and you know, my honorable mention though, Ben, Bluebell, the ice cream company,
Yeah,
came out with an ice cream that's Dr. Pepper float. Bro,
is it good?
it is the best thing I've ever had in my life. It's Dr. Pepper, like, I don't know how they make it, but then it's vanilla and it's like in a swirl. Bro, oh my God. It's at Kroger, not really anymore, but I know it's at Walgreens. That's where I get it. I get a little bit of like a $2.80 discount, so like $7, but
Okay.
bro, it is worth it. That's my go-to night routine. Do the podcast notes, do the editing and all that. Go down, watch first get a shower, watch The Rookie, eat some Dr. Pepper ice cream. I'm probably gaining like 400 pounds this summer, but
Some of us need that.
yeah,
So,
seriously. All right, Ben, go ahead. W of the week. Mine is The Rookie.
All right, on mine. Mine's just chicken in general, dude. This week I've been to Waldo's. I've been to Waldo's. I think it's more local, definitely more local.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know. Have you had the luxury of trying it?
I've never had Waldo.
It's so good. I love Waldo's. Love Zaxby's. I bet people have had Zaxby's. Love
Zaxby's is not local, yeah.
All those places, they're just so good. And I went there. I went to Zaxby's today, and it's just delicious. I was debating having it twice because my mom was bringing it home, but
Yeah.
couldn't do that. You know,
Yeah.
I had to do something nice, but it's so good.
You went to like Ruth Steakhouse or like
Ruth Chris, yeah. It's so good, and chicken, good protein. You know, it's a plus on so many
It's
sides.
W of the week is chicken.
Yeah,
It's chicken.
it's
in
a
general.
plus on so many levels.
Okay, my L of the week is violent. All right,
What's happening?
it's pretty nasty. All right, but dude, it's got to stop. All right, it's got to stop. It's
I don't know what he's about to say.
it's people who think that. Okay, so I went to Bass Pro today, right? I had to go out to the mall and get my phone fixed because I dropped it. It got cracked. This was probably in February.
Cool Springs?
No,
Opry Mills.
Opry Mills.
Opry
Went
Mills.
out there.
That's right.
And so it got cracked pretty bad. It was fine. I worked with the crack for probably like 5 months, and then I took it to Opry Mills this morning. So I got it fixed. It was fine, and I was walking out, and you know there's that Bass Pro and like Outdoor World right there. So I was walking out, dude. I had to go to the bathroom. All right. The people who just like drop a bomb in the stalls while they're in there, dude. That is my L of the week, bro. Like people who just light the toilet up like they're at home.
I really don't understand how people are comfortable.
Like it's literally it's like
doing
you
that
can
somewhere
hear it
else.
like ricocheting
Oh, I
off
know.
the toilet, bro. It's
Oh, it's so
disgusting.
bad. Sometimes you know when you like walk into the bathroom, it's just like exploding.
Yeah, yes. Like I don't know how I don't know how people like actually sit down with themselves and they're like, I'm gonna blow this toilet up right now.
Okay,
At a
I don't-
Bass Pro Shop. Like that's disgusting, and it's like no manners. People walk out of the bathroom without washing their hands after just dropping a bomb on the toilet. It's terrible, man. And it's understandable if we're at like Wendy's or Chipotle or McDonald's.
Golly, Chipotle does something different to your body.
But especially Chipotle because it's a single person bathroom.
It smells so rancid, though.
It's rancid, but it's acceptable because it's just you. All right, you going to Bass Pro, dude? That's supposed to be like, you're not supposed to blow that toilet up, bro.
How?
like you're supposed to go in there and take a light pee, get out of there, go home with a family, and there's people just taking like rancid diarrhea in there, bro.
All right.
Yeah, I'm sorry for everyone listening. I'm sorry, but dude, it had to be said, man.
That's-
those people have to be stopped. If you're one of those people, stop because it's gross.
Really, just wait till you get home.
Yeah, if you walk in, it's
that
like
serious. Yeah.
like, dude, it's just not even worth it.
That's serious.
It's
All right.
not worth it. Go ahead, man.
My O of the week. It's definitely not as violent as yours. I've got blisters on your hands.
That is L.
I
L.
absolutely
Objective
hate getting
L.
a blister on my hand.
Yeah.
I had to. I was out on the range for golfing. You know,
Yeah.
I really am trying to make up for that performance, guys. and I just get so many blisters, and I don't even understand it. I think it's something wrong with my swing or something. But
No, if you,
usually
I mean,
it's when I hold the club too. Yeah, I know. I have that on my thumb too. When
If
I
you-
hold the club like too firm,
Yeah.
it gives you blisters.
when you hold the club too tight, and also if you like, when I first kind of started trying to get back into golf,
because I played a lot last fall break,
yeah.
and I was like, not bad. I definitely got worse, but like it's because my swing it's because my swing was like so bad that I was just getting lucky every time, and like I had to actually get a good golf swing. So still work in progress, but I actually when you first try and get back in it, like you get blisters real bad because your hands aren't used to like the feel of the club and all that. So if you go out and you like start hitting like 6 times a week and stuff like that, or like start hitting a bunch of balls, then it's just like I don't know, it's terrible.
Like,
That
it's
is
like
an objective
blisters in
element.
general. Like you know when you'll be working out and it's
Yeah.
just like randomly like there's just so many blisters
Yeah.
on your hand and like calluses and it's just like why are those even a
Especially
thing?
playing baseball, I feel like that happens a decent amount.
Why are those even a thing?
Yeah.
I just don't understand
Yeah,
it.
'cause
Yeah, because
pitching-
baseball. I mean, in batting, your gloves
Rip.
all the time. You know,
But pitching, like if you're holding up here,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
if you're
yeah.
holding the laces too tight or like trying to like scrub on the laces and stuff, that hurts. But
Exactly. They just suck. I hate
so
blisters.
crapping your pants in public restrooms, calluses and blisters on the hands are the L's of the week. But we've actually got some college football content to get to, believe it or not.
We do.
All right, college football content to get to. Ben, this was actually kind of a mix of ideas from both of us.
It was.
You said you wanted to do a draft, and I was like, that's a great idea. Episode 55, need some stuff to keep us afloat here on episode 55. And then I came up with an idea that was a little out of the ordinary. I'm not sure how this is going to go over, but we're going to try it.
Really don't know.
And it's going to be a draft, okay? And I'll explain the rules like I said I would earlier. So basically, we're working from scratch, all right? We're the new commissioners of the Pac-12, and we're working from scratch to create ourselves a new Pac-12 conference, okay? So we can't use the same team twice, and me and Ben are going to go in a draft style. So I'm going to pick a team, Ben's going to pick a team, I'm going to pick a team, Ben's going to pick a team. We're going to go back and forth. Like I said, you cannot choose the same team twice. We're going to have 10 teams in the conference each, and we're going to be good to go. We're going to be reaching deep in the bag here.
Yeah.
These lists are going to be over on Twitter, over on Instagram. So if you're not, make sure to follow us at so_boy_sports over on Twitter, at southern_boy_sports pod over on Instagram. So make sure, catch up with us over there and take a peek at the graphics of our new conferences. But keep up listening, watching if you can, because it's going to be
Yeah.
a fun segment, Ben.
Yeah.
How are we going to decide who gets first pick here?
Best of 3 rock paper scissors. I think that's the best.
All right,
we
best
can
of
do.
3 rock, paper, scissors.
All
Here
right,
we go.
Here we go.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Tie. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Win. 1-0, Drew.
Okay.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Dang it.
2-0, got him with the scissors
But we're
and
doing
paper.
snake. So 1, 2.
Oh, okay. We're
You
going.
know
We're
me.
going snake.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
we're going snake style. So it's
But
gonna be.
that first pick, I think I know who you're taking, and I mean it's the way to go.
It's gonna be me, Ben, me, Ben.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
how
they
snake
got it,
drafts
they got
work.
it, they got it.
All right. With the number one, let me put the banner up. Sorry, boys. Sorry, boys. You know, I kind of used to feel bad about saying that because I was like, no, the female audience, whatever. We have on YouTube. I looked at the analytics. 0% female audience.
I really am not shocked by
I,
that.
I'm not shocked by it. I'm just saying we might need to get those numbers up. All right, we need to get those
The
numbers
haircuts. It's the haircuts.
up. Anyways, new Pac-12, 10 teams each. Let's get rolling. Number one overall pick, the Oregon Ducks.
Yeah. Yep.
And we'll go a little bit, just like a little bit in depth about why we picked them for the first couple of picks. Once we get to the last, we're going to kind of start rapid firing them. But Oregon, I think, obviously, you got to pick them. You got the Nike sponsorship. You got Phil Knight. You're in Oregon. It's in the West. Like, you got to keep geographic location as somewhat of a factor here. Once we get deeper into the list, I'm not doing so. But you definitely have to keep it. If you're the Pac-12 commissioner, that's my ultimate goal. And so you get a brand deal like Nike has with Oregon. They got some of the better uniforms in college football. And ultimately, too big of a brand to lose for me. And Oregon is number one in Drew's new conference.
That makes it. It is actually kind of easy for me. So I'm gonna go to a team. They're in the Pac-12 right now. Have not left. I'm gonna go with the Utah Utes.
Oh, that's spicy.
Well, I like them over a lot of other teams just because of the potential they have for the future.
Yeah.
They're doing well. I understand like a Washington pick there. I can see that when in your eyes.
That's like if when number two.
Well, so here's the thing. I have 2 and 3.
That's
So
like when Michael Jordan. Oh, you do have
for
three.
number 3.
Dang it! No, I forgot we were doing snake.
We're going with the Washington Huskies. I mean,
Frick.
they've already been in the college football playoffs. They've had that experience. And I like what Kalen DeBoer is doing over there.
Dang it.
And the future looks bright with Michael Penix. He will be gone after this year, so not really, but
I don't know what future they have with Michael Penix except 2023.
there's
But
that. And I think that they are looking well in the new Pac-12, and this 12-team playoff opens up a lot more.
this is a hard pick for me. But I get back-to-back picks. So my second team in the Drew Conference, the Drew 12, Drew 10, is going to be the Arizona State Sun Devils. And that's going to be controversial. That I took that so early, but Kenny Dillingham.
I'm perfectly fine with that.
Yeah, Kenny Dillingham is a new coach. He's a guy who's got stuff rolling. They just landed Jaden Rashada. He's a 5-star. He's making a lot of money on NIL stuff. And when I played, this is random, but when I played with him in college football revamped, the jersey selections, I swear to God, they had like 40. I'm not kidding. 25 helmets. They have some.
The alternates over there.
They have a lot of uniforms. I'm not sure they have some of the better uniforms, but they have a lot of them. And so, I mean, I think it's a great brand. I think it's a desert. They go based. What's so funny?
I really don't want you to. I'm just hoping you don't.
Oh, got you. They go based off. Whoa, sorry about that. They go kind of based off the desert. They're a desert team. They're out in the desert. They go off that stuff. And I think you got to stick with them in the Pac-12. And I'm going to pick who I think you're going to pick. That's the Oregon State Beavers. Is that who you're going to pick?
Yeah. That was one of the
I
two
picked Ben's pick here. The third team in my new conference is the Oregon State Beavers. I think they're a solid Pac-12 team. I think you keep the rivalry with Oregon intact. I think that's something that's important, is building rivalries in a new conference. And I think Oregon State, Oregon, the Civil War, always pretty good games, does do that. So I think you got to stay out west for these first couple of picks and go with the Beavs, third team of the conference. So I got Oregon, Arizona State, and Oregon State. Ben so far has got Washington and Utah.
I'm throwing geographic out the window here.
We know.
I'm throwing it out the window.
We talked pre-show, and I had a feeling you were gonna spring this on us early.
There's a team. I feel like I could see them in the Big Ten way more here. A very bright culture over there. They are one of the most well-known college football teams. I'm going with Notre Dame.
Wow.
I like Notre Dame in the Pac-12. And look, it basically, like, my vision here was just make a super conference, not geographic conference.
No, I mean, that's fair.
So I'm going with Notre Dame here. And, I mean, that there's nothing more you could ask for in a team. Future looks solid. They have everything. They've had a great run in college football. So I like Notre Dame here.
Yeah.
And really, they can't, I was debating taking them number 2 or 3, but I was like, I think Drew is going to, skim over that one. So
yeah, no, I wasn't going to pick Notre Dame. I don't even have them on my whoa. Don't even have them on my list. No, I have them 22nd.
I think my next team, you have them on your list.
Okay.
The geographically does not make sense either.
Okay.
But I think they're on your list. I'm going to go with the Tulane.
Okay.
Green
I
Wave.
don't have them on my list. That's great.
Really?
Yeah, I don't have them.
I like Tulane. I like what they've built over there.
Sorry, before you go, we're going off. You can't snag another team from a Power 5 conference.
Right.
You can snag from Group of 5. So if you're, we'll get to some Group of 5 teams later. Just a disclaimer: we're not going to be taking Miss State out of the SEC and all that dumb stuff. Yeah, but we are taking Group of 5 teams because obviously they're more likely to try and get that media rights deal, try and get their name out there in a Power 5 conference. So Ben, continue on Tulane.
Yeah, Tulane. I've loved what they've done. Michael Pratt apparently is a top 5 quarterback. I think I said what was that? Was he number 2?
What list was that? No, he was 5. It was Mike Farrell and transfer. It was
No.
Shout out to him though.
But Michael Pratt, he's a great quarterback. I love what they're doing over there, and the culture over there. They have a great college campus. They have a great everything. So I like Tulane here.
Yeah, Tulane's not a bad pick. Tulane's not a bad pick at all. You have Washington, right?
Washington, Utah, Notre Dame, and Tulane.
6 more teams for both of us here, I believe. I have Oregon, Oregon State, Arizona State. So I only have 3 teams.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with another rivalry game. We're going to have 2 sets of rivals here early. Give me Arizona. Give me Arizona. They actually, if you haven't already seen the news, I saw it from On3, so credit to them on Twitter. But they are on pace to have a Board of Regents meeting with the Big 12. So a Board of
conference can be changed.
A Board of Regents meeting, not with the Big 12, but possibly discussing the Big 12.
Your
and
conference could change
it could just vastly change in the flash of light. But Arizona is my 4th team in the conference. So Oregon, Oregon State, Arizona State. Some nice rivalries.
Wow.
But now we're going to branch out a little bit. All right, I'm going to go.
I'm open to it.
Away from the Pac-12 right now because I feel like I can get these teams a little bit later on. Give me Boise State.
Yeah.
Okay, give me Boise State. And I understand a lot of people. There's not a lot of buzz of them joining the Pac-12 as of right now. But this is a team. Look, they play on a blue field, right? They're in Idaho, right?
It's a lot of eyes.
There's the blue field. They play in Idaho. They have a lot of things to sell to recruits. I mean, they've been really good in the past. They've had some great seasons in the past. We did trivia on episode 54, and this might have been in the. I can't remember because we recorded episode 54 the first time. For those of you who went a little bit behind the scenes and it got corrupted, was that when we talked about Boise State, the most undefeated?
Yes, we did.
Most games won.
I think so. Yeah. With most games won without winning a national championship.
No. That was episode 54. I remember
was it?
because I was driving in my car and I realized we're idiots because all you have to do is win 12 games, go to the conference championship, win number 13, and then go win 14 in your bowl game. So
Yeah.
I kind of made myself
12-0.
look like an idiot. Yeah. So that's
Yeah.
on me. But anyways, rich history from the Boise
Where does
State
the loss come
Broncos.
from?
They don't have a loss, did they?
Yeah, I think they went like 14-1 or something.
Oh, okay. That actually makes no sense then.
Maybe they went 14-0.
I don't know. Anyways, Boise State is my next team in the conference. They mix it up a little bit. They're going to bring some competitive teams. They're going to bring some fun uniforms, a fun field, a fun atmosphere at Boise State, a blue field. Like, they got a lot of things going for them. Keeping the geographical location stuff intact here, Ben.
Yeah, and I've got to go with I've got two teams here who I will go geographically safe.
Okay.
And the first one I'll go with San Diego State.
Okay.
The
Yeah,
Aztecs.
that sucks.
They've talked to the Big 12 or the Pac-12 already.
Yeah.
They're in talks already, and I've seen what they've been able to do in basketball, making the March Madness tournament this year. Football
pick.
is something else, but they're a good college. They've got good stuff all around, and I think it's a good pick, and it's geographically an okay pick.
Tulane basketball in the Pac-12 is a disgrace.
That is a disgrace to the Pac-12. I'm sorry, but we're not here for basketball.
Your next pick.
It is a team that was in the Pac-12.
Brick. Don't steal them.
I think I see what you're talking about. Unless it's some random team, I'm going with Wazoo here.
Okay. All right. Great.
I like Washington State. Cam Ward. I think they're an exciting team over there. Always, they're always a team that I'd always be like, why is Washington State playing? But they're always exciting to watch. I feel like.
Yeah.
And they always have some good games going on. So I've got Wazoo here, and I got to keep it geographically safe.
Okay.
You
So
might want to take those teams now.
to keep us updated, you've got Oregon, Washington,
Nope. Washington, Utah,
Yeah.
Notre Dame, Tulane, San Diego State, and Wazoo.
Okay, and I've got Oregon and Oregon State, Arizona and Arizona State, and Boise State.
Oh, I'm sweeping the competition right now.
So I've got 2 picks here.
You've at least got geographically.
I'm going to go with Cal. Because I think
It's not
that
like-
it's not only important to have – because you don't want teams cannibalizing on each other, all right? Cal's going to be an easy win for a lot of teams.
Oh, okay.
You keep it geographically set. I mean, I like their colors. I mean, they're in California.
Yeah.
If you're talking about Pacific
Yeah.
12, they are Pacific. And I'm going to take Cal. I think it gets another Pac-12 team off the board. Before we go with a little bit of a bang here, give me the Fresno State Bulldogs. All right, give me the Fresno State Bulldogs. They were in the Mountain West Championship last
Yeah.
year. They've produced a solid amount of NFL talent, most notably Derek Carr, Devontae Adams, all those good people. So I like Fresno State. I think you bring them over with Boise State, who's a little bit of a rival in the Mountain West Conference. I think they got the opportunity to compete. And Fresno State is my next pick. So I took Fresno State and Cal right there, Ben.
Yeah, and I really I have a team. I have Notre Dame. So geographically, it's already thrown out the window. But-
God, I forgot.
I am gonna go. I'm gonna go with UTSA here.
Yes.
And so I like UTSA. Who are you gonna take?
I'm not telling you.
I'm gonna go with UTSA here because they're a solid team and I like the future. I like the future. I keep on saying I like the future and then naming the quarterback that will be there for one more year. I like Frank Harris though, and so that'll be nice for them. And I think they're on the upward trend. This is another team that's not I'm gonna give if you want SMU and if you're thinking SMU, I'll go ahead and leave that to you. That is nowhere near where the Pac-12 is.
Yeah.
But it's fine. I'm gonna go with Troy.
That is nowhere near the Pac-12, and you
Okay.
take a team from Alabama.
That's still SMU is way further.
SMU's in Dallas
Where are they at? Oh yes. Wait, Southern Methodist.
University. They're in
Yes,
Dallas.
it's Southern. It's okay. so-
Alabama's like
all right, I'll give you that one.
halfway or almost across the country.
Yeah, that one was a fault on me. I'll give you SMU though. I went Troy. They went 12-2 last year. They were a great team. They had to loss to App State, which was rough. But I like Troy. I like what they're doing over there, and so I'm gonna let them into the Pac-12 here.
So do I have one pick now?
I think you have two still.
I think you were supposed to,
I picked two.
and now I have one.
You have two, and I think I have one.
Oh, okay. Let's do that.
Maybe.
I'm always with getting more picks.
Here, I got you. I'll count mine.
I have Oregon, Oregon State, Arizona, Arizona State, Cal, Boise State, and Fresno State. So I have 6.
Okay. 2.
2, 4, 2, 4, 6, 7. I have 7.
Okay.
How many do you have?
That makes sense. Well, you go twice.
Yeah, you're right.
I go twice. You go once. I go once. Not really sure how that works. We'll figure it
I
out.
have 7. So I'll go twice, you go once, I'll go
I'll count how
once,
many
you
I
go
have real
twice.
quick.
Yeah. I'll go twice, get to 9. Then you go once, then and we'll finish it off. Give me SMU. All right, give me SMU, Ben. You noted it. We talked about SMU. I think they're going to be a fun add to the conference. And, yeah, I mean, they're a team out of Texas. I know geographically, like we said, kind of got to throw that out the window. Doesn't make a ton of sense. But I like SMU. I like what they're doing. Texas isn't too far of a hike for them. And give me SMU, the 8th team in my conference. And lastly, for my selection now, I have one more team after them. But I'm going to make a splash here. Give me North Dakota State. Out of the FCS, they've produced some QBs.
It's fine.
Carson Wentz, Trey Lance, they've won multiple FCS national titles. They consistently make the playoffs. You brought up James Madison to add to the Sun Belt. I think it's time you add North Dakota State, get some depth in this conference, get some competitive spirits flowing. Give me the North Dakota State Bison, the number 9 team in my conference.
You know, I'm going with a team. You talked about a little bottom feeder that it should be a win. I do have 2 more. These are my last 2 picks.
Okay, yeah.
A bottom feeder, you know, their brother just moved to the Big 12. I'm going with Colorado State.
Yeah, okay. All right.
You know,
I see.
it's regionally fine with the Pac-12. You know, and I think that this is a good team. Not a good team at all, but I think it's a team that will fit the conference well. Be a little bottom feeder and then move on with that. I've got another team. I don't see them very high in the Pac-12 rankings.
Okay.
But they are currently in the Pac-12. I'm gonna go with the Stanford Cardinals here.
Okay, yeah.
I don't like it. If I can't keep it a good team, I'd rather keep it geographically sane.
That was my last pick.
So I'm gonna go with Stanford.
I was going
here.
for a little bit of fun, adding North Dakota State, adding Arizona, like all this. That was honestly my last pick here. So let me see who I'm going to go with now. Let's do it for the people. Give me UConn. Give me UConn. They're coming from Connecticut, making the trip,
far
making the
away.
trip from Connecticut. They're doing it for they're doing it for the money. All right, the 10th team in my conference, the UConn Huskies. I could have gone with a lot of more normal stuff. Could have gone with UNLV, South Dakota State. Incarnate Word would have probably made a little bit more sense, like Eastern Washington, like any geographical location stuff. Give me UConn though. They're on the up and up, like what Jim Moore's doing. They got a fun team. So yeah, UConn, last
Fun.
team in the Drew 10. Is that it for you?
I think yeah.
You know what I just realized? It's the Ben 10. It's the
Uh,
Ben 10.
I think it's not even close. I think my conference is way better than yours.
Yeah, I mean,
I think mine's better, but I like yours geographically.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, a Notre Dame's fine, but Tulane, it just doesn't even make any sense. UTSA is never going to
Give
happen.
UConn.
Okay. That was my last finale pick. Ramping it up.
I'm here to win, Drew. Not make sense.
All right. Well, whatever. So to cap it off, my conference, the Drew 10, is Oregon, Oregon State, Arizona, Cal, Boise State, North Dakota State, Fresno State, and UConn.
All right, mine is Washington.
10.
The Big Ten is
The Ben
The Ben
10.
10. Sorry, is Washington, Utah, Notre Dame, Tulane, San Diego State, Washington State, UTSA, Troy, Colorado State, and Stanford.
I feel a lot better about your conference, honestly.
Yeah, I do too.
All right, well, let us know who won. If you're watching this on TikTok, hit the comments, do all that good stuff. Let us know. Watching on Twitter, make sure to follow us, hit the comments, let us know. Same thing over on Instagram Reels. Want to know who won this draft. So, yeah, let us know. Fun little segment.
We all know who.
Pretty sure I just got wiped, but don't worry about it. We're going to move on to a little bit of team talk here, Ben, if you are ready to go.
I'm
Make it a good
dialed.
time, though. Inside 30 minutes right now. So we got some time to talk ball. The 3 teams that we want to talk about, obviously USC, Texas, and Miami, Ben. I picked who went first last episode. You got it this episode. Who is going number 1? Who we talking about first?
I want to save the best for last,
Okay.
so I'm gonna go Miami here.
Oh, I thought you were going to save Miami for last. I'm going 11-1. I'm kidding. I don't have Miami going 11-1, but go ahead. Start us off with Miami. I do have them as the worst record-wise out of these 3 teams.
It's not like it's a bad record at all, though. Unless yours is.
I mean, mine's not
terrible.
bad. Go ahead.
I have Miami ceiling 9-3. Not happening.
Okay.
Floor 5-7. My prediction is 7-5.
Okay. I have them higher than that.
I did. It just depends. Like I could see them going 8-4 for real. Or, like definitely. It just depends. Like this team, I have them basically winning every game they should.
Yeah.
We just need to see if that can happen.
Yeah. I have Miami with a ceiling of 10-2, a floor of 6-6, and a prediction of 8-4. So I
wrote down 8-4, but I thought
everything
you were
was
going
like
way lower.
clicked up one. New offensive coordinator, obviously for Miami in 2023. That's Shannon Dawson. I'm pretty high on the guy. I like Shannon Dawson.
You're right.
Obviously much better than Josh Gaddis. Sorry, I'm gonna go ahead and change this real quick.
That's why I said them first too, because the graphic was the
Yeah.
closest. But it's
I appreciate that. But no, Shannon Dawson comes in. He's going to be a lot better than Josh Gaddis, I believe, like you said. Yeah, like you said, gives the opportunity for Tyler Van Dyke to succeed again because last year was an absolute stinker from TVD. In 2021,
he was hurt last year.
He threw for 2,900 yards, 25 touchdowns, 6 picks. That's in 2021. In 2022, 1,800 yards, 10 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Obviously, like you said, Ben, injured a lot in 2022, suffered a couple injuries, but overall just did not look like the same guy. Not as good of a player. In 2022, could be because of Josh Gaddis, could be an adjustment because of Mario Cristobal. We'll get to both those guys later, but Ben, anything you want to touch on in this offense in a broad view before we get deeper into the nitty gritty of this team?
Not in the broad view. I'm ready to dive in.
Jump in.
So I wrote down Tyler Van Dyke. He needs to stay healthy. Last year he struggled a bit with his shoulder was messed up. You know, they really need him healthy to win those games that matter. And so that would be key. And like you said, Shannon Dawson is there to help that out. Tyler Van Dyke, he won like all ACC. He won like ACC Newcomer of the Year in 2021, like you talked about.
Yeah.
When he had that great year. And so that is nice for them. They bring in some transfer receivers for him too. Tyler Harrell from Bama, and Cam McCormick in from Oregon.
Is he the one who's like 100 years old?
That might be him.
Yeah,
He's
I
like
think
the
that's-
7th year.
yeah,
yeah,
I think that's him.
yeah. And along with Colby Young, who was already previously there, and he was a solid receiver for them. The offensive line, man. Zion Nelson is a dog, like you were talking about. They do return, I'm pretty sure, all 5, but you still have your guy like Francis Mauigoa in there.
They have a couple transfers, I believe, on the offensive line. That's Javian Cohen from Alabama.
Yeah.
And that is Matt Lee from UCF.
Yeah, so they bring in a lot of pieces on the O-line, and I think it's a lot of depth for them.
Francis Mauigoa is going to be a starter, though.
Yes.
He's going to start at guard.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
And he's
I mean,
a dog.
I think he will.
And you know, his brother is there too.
Francisco.
That was one of my interesting names.
That was one of my breakout stars, though.
Yeah,
that was one of my breakout stars here in 2023. Really high on the guy. But overall, I mean, the linebacking core and the defense in general is not bad. I mean, Devontae Brown transfers in from UCF.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I like the guy. Wesley, hang with me. Bisanthi will be starting at middle linebacker. Did not get a ton of rip in 2022.
Gonna rip.
Only 21 tackles, but we'll see what he does, man. We'll see what he does. Secondary.
Oh, I know who you're gonna talk about.
I got 2 guys I want to talk about. All right, that's Cameron Kitchens
Obviously.
and James Williams.
Yeah.
All right, Cameron Kitchens, 59 tackles, 1.5 TFLs, 6 interceptions, and a forced fumble. Like, the guy was all over the field.
All-American right there.
A free safety with 59 tackles.
No,
I mean, that's nice.
He led the team.
Yeah, with 6 picks, he was a leading tackler on that Miami roster in 2022. So, a bright spot on a
Is
defense.
59 tackles what you would want as a leading tackler?
Yeah, that's also not good. But James Williams, another key player. He's going to play strong safety for him. 58 tackles, a pick, and a forced fumble last year. A guy who was a hard hitter. I mean, he was second on the team in tackles, like I mentioned. So, I mean, the guys in the secondary out there play, especially at safety room, linebacking room, really nice. I'm going to talk about their coordinator in a second, but continue on the Canes.
Yeah, and like you were saying, Cameron Kitchens returning
He's
All-American.
such a beast.
He was a
He's such a
monster.
beast.
They bring in. They have some holes that are left in that secondary though.
Yeah.
They bring in like 4 transfer corners though, so they're ready to fill those holes. And I think if those players can step up like that, they'll have a solid defense.
One of the guys that I honestly teetered with the idea when we were doing breakout starts to pick, and now that I'm kind of looking at the way that things are going to shape out, I think you could have maybe not a breakout year like 1,000 yards, but going from, I think I have it written down, 240 yards last year. I mean, it's pretty good.
Try that last name. Go ahead.
Xavier Restrepo.
Okay, I think that's right.
Xavier Restrepo is a guy that I actually have a decent amount of belief in. I mean, like you said, they have a pretty solid wide receiver room. Colby Young, Jacoby George, both guys that are going to be pretty solid for him. But I mean, I like Xavier Restrepo. I mean, at the end of the day, when I saw Tennessee's air raid offense, okay, and you get a lot of guys involved, and I understand that Josh Gaddis is a terrible offensive coordinator, or at least what we saw of him at Miami was terrible. Shannon Dawson, another guy who's going to come in, he's going to pass the ball a lot.
Yeah.
So you give Tyler Van Dyke the opportunity to sling the ball around, right? And I think Tyler Van Dyke, if he wants to have another good season, is going to have to sling the ball to different guys. He's a slot receiver. He's going to be able to get open. And I'm not saying he catches for 800, 900. If he goes out there and he goes from 240 yards and 2 touchdowns to 510 yards and 5 touchdowns, that's a huge improvement. That's something that could seriously help Miami. So I like Xavier Restrepo. I think they got a unproven wide receiver room as of right now. Like a lot of these teams do, Ben. Like a lot of teams we talk about are very unproven at wide receiver. But I like him. I like Xavier Restrepo. And if TVD can finally freaking get back on track,
Yeah.
don't quote me on it, but I think they could be pretty freaking good.
They could be, and injuries were a major problem for this team last year.
Sure.
And so it really matters, like staying healthy. I saw, tackles on Nelson was hurt last year. He's a dog, and so they just need to stay healthy, keep those injuries to a minimum, and they can definitely win some games.
Offensively, I know we keep kind of teetering back and forth offensively and defensively and kind of a mixed bag of things here on the Miami team preview, but I want to talk about Henry Parrish Jr. and not only the returning running back for Miami, but his backup, the 4-star true freshman Mark Fletcher. All right, he's 6'1", 225. He's been measured out to be over 230 pounds by a couple sources. The kid is a tough freaking runner. He's not going to stop his legs. He's going to be tough. He's only 6'1", but he can keep the legs churning. He's going to be a pretty solid third down back, I think, for Miami. At the end of the day, whenever he does see the field primarily, whenever he does see a decent amount of reps, I think he's going to be a guy who's going to move the sticks consistently. 2nd and 10, go out there, make it a 3rd down and 6, 5, 4, instead of making it a 3rd down and 9. He's going to keep his legs turning, move the pile. Excited about Mark Fletcher. Excited about Henry Parrish Jr., though, this year, Ben.
Yeah, and they bring in the number 8 recruiting class overall last year, and so they have a lot of players that they're ready to come in and play.
Yeah.
And so Miami will be leaning on all that depth this year.
But Henry Parrish, I mean, he was a guy that with the offensive scheme last year, with how bad the offense was ran last year, and I understand.
It's a bright spot.
Yeah, it was. But I mean, at some points, like he had a really good game against Virginia, I believe, where he had like 120 yards or something like that. But then he went silent in a couple games, only got 4 carries, 3 carries, and that's something that
Hank Bigsby action.
Sure, yeah, and that's something that's going to change with a new offensive coordinator, with Shannon Dawson taking over, with an improved offensive line that they may trust a little bit more. So I like Henry Parrish. I think he's got the opportunity to be pretty good. Only a little bit over 600 yards, which isn't terrible, obviously.
Yeah.
But for a starting back on an ACC team, I think he'd get up there 900, 1,000 yards this year because they're going to need him. They're going to need a relief after the passing game, and we'll see how much Dawson uses them this year. But anything else on this offense? I want to talk about their defensive coordinator and the newcomers there.
Yeah, well, like you were saying, I mean, the RBs will be important for this room because that air raid offense does open a lot in the ground game.
Yeah.
So you will be able to find some holes in that offense, with a great offensive line too,
Yeah.
and so the offense could run pretty smoothly over there.
Yeah, and I mean schedule wise, this team catches a slight break. I mean they have to play Clemson. I know they have to play
UNC,
Florida State, UNC.
yeah.
Like the ACC, if you're on the wrong side of things, is a tougher conference. For a couple teams, it's a freaking easy conference. So it's just kind of the luck of the draw. They do get a little bit tough schedule wise here, and ultimately that's kind of why I see them having 4 losses. But when I did ACC power rankings, right? There's a ACC power rankings by I think On3, which is fine. But I just wanted to get at it with a couple people, and so I put Miami at 6 in ACC power rankings, and I said I think this team's got the ceiling, like I said, to go 10-2. I think this team is really built good enough talent wise, and I think they're built for the future. Like you said, a top 10 recruiting class in 2023. So they got guys ready. I don't know if it's 2023 in specific that they're going to be able to go out there and compete. But Miami is a team in the ACC where they're kind of built for success, right? They're built under Mario Cristobal, who's a proven head coach. He did a solid job over at Oregon, and not saying they won the national championship, but I mean they were in competition for the Pac-12 year in and year out.
Yeah.
So I think if you let him cook, Miami's going to be in a position to start pushing in a couple of years. This year, I think you have to be bowl eligible though, Ben. You cannot go from 5-7 and stay at 5-7 or drop. I think they're a bowl eligible team. You got them 7-5. I got them 8-4. New defense coordinator, Lance Guidry, was at Marshall. I know he's got some head coaching experience. I know he's at McNeese State at the FCS level, but he was a safeties coach in his past, so that helps, right? Cameron Kitchens, James Williams, and all those studs in the secondary. It's gonna be a fun group to coach for him, and I think it's gonna help him out, kind of catching on and all that good stuff. So I'm done with Miami, Ben. I got him going 8-4 in 2023. Anything else on the Canes?
Yeah, and like you're saying, Mario Cristobal, I mean, Miami, they really have set themselves up great recruiting-wise. I mean, you're in Florida. You have a great culture. You have a great background and everything. I mean, it's set up well for Mario Cristobal. You can bring in the recruits. It's about winning these next games, winning the games that matter, and just getting the wins you have to make the team look a lot better.
For sure. So who, Ben, would you like to talk about next? You said save the best for last. Sorry, I meant to try and make a statement.
Here we go. He's on a roll today.
Whoa.
I think I know who you're talking about.
Why is this not?
Best for last.
There we go.
It is, yeah. The Texas Longhorns
are the next team. Sorry, production issues over there, but let me flip to the Texas Longhorns here. I don't really, and honestly, I don't have a lot of notes on a lot of these teams, right? In the past, we're talking Northwestern, talking Nebraska, talking, like, they got a lot of newcomers, right? They got a lot of guys sorry, filling with my stuff over here. They got a lot of guys that you're going to want to talk about, right? They got a lot of guys, like Texas. I think I'm prepared to, I think I could talk about Texas if someone put a gun to my head and said, you got to talk about Texas for 20 minutes. I could find a way to talk about Texas for 20 straight minutes.
Yeah, and they're a solid. I will say they're a solid team this year. It really
pains you to say
it pains me to talk about this team because we'll hear it later. So I'll go into them. I got my ceiling at 11-1, my floor at 8-4, and I've got them going 10-2. I have them beating Rice, Wyoming, Baylor, Oklahoma, Houston, BYU, Kansas State, TCU, Iowa State, and Texas Tech. So, really, I do last year, like, every time I predicted OU beating a team, they lost, and them losing to a team, they won.
Reverse
So,
psychology
I'm
here.
just trying to, like, manifest it in there.
Yeah.
I do have losses to Alabama and Kansas. Just had to toss one in there. I think they're going to lose a game. Doesn't matter who. I love Jalen Daniels over there. And I think I could see a...
I have them losing to Kansas as well. I have them losing to either Kansas or Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
I think they lose one of those games. I think they beat Alabama. I think Alabama. I changed my mind on this one. I know.
It's fair.
And when
the
we
QB
talk,
situation over there.
When we talked
yeah.
SEC expectations, I did say I think Texas is going to lose this game.
Yeah.
But when I'm thinking more about Texas as a individual team, right? Not just because when we're going through record predictions, you can say, yeah, this is a win, this is a win. When you dive deeper into their team, I feel like, and it's almost kind of like a gut feeling in these kind of games because look, it's probably going to end up at the end of the season being a top 15 matchup. Both these teams are going to be top 15, arguably top 10, depending on how both their seasons go. So it's not going to be like we can sit here and predict who's going to start at quarterback correctly and know what he's going to do. Like it's kind of a gut feeling, and a lot of these predictions preseason wise. So I got a gut feeling that coming out of this game, it's going to be a thing of. Excuse me. It's going to be a thing of, God, sheesh, I almost died. It's going to be a thing of Texas fans coming out of this game saying, we're back, baby. We're blah, blah, blah. We just beat Alabama. They got this game at Alabama, though, this year.
I really want them to lose now.
And I do think if they lose, I don't think it's really a problem. I think they could lose to Alabama, like you said, and come out 10-2. So at the end of the day, it's not a make or break game for Texas against Alabama. I know I've seen some media outlets discussing that. I don't think it's a make or break. Would it be a huge win for the Texas program? Steve Sarkisian goes in, beats Nick Saban, his former predecessor. Yes, that would all be great. But at the end of the day, I think I just got a gut feeling Texas is going to come out of this game on top. I got a feeling we're going to hear a lot of hype, a lot of blood, or a lot of burnt orange Kool-Aid coming out after this game just because they just beat Alabama. And I think they do win this game. It was a close call last year.
Yeah, it was.
And I'm really not on the of the crowd that if Quinn Ewers didn't get hurt, they would have won that game. And like all this stuff, that it was only 21-20. So I just think they're both really good teams this year. I think they both have the opportunity to push for a conference title, both in both their conferences. So they're going to be good. It's going to be one of the better matchups of the season in one of the first weeks of the season. So I'd like Texas to win that Bama game, Ben. I know I kind of burst your bubble on that one because
I mean, it's fine. No, I will say it is the time to do it.
Yeah.
You get them week 2. QB situation will 100% still be a bit shaky. I mean, that's the time to do it.
Yeah.
And I think it is the Texas team. They are ready. They know what they have to do, and it's a game. I debated it for a minute when I was talking about Bama.
Yeah.
But I just had it set here because I already had Bama beating them. But it is very reasonable to pick Texas here. Do I want it to happen? No, but I think it could happen. And I wouldn't say they're necessarily back, but I would say it's looking better for Texas.
It's definitely a step in the right direction. Definitely a step in the right direction because if it's a struggle to compete in the Big 12 before your last year, before you head to the SEC, it's going to be rough.
The
It's
SEC
gonna be
is
rough.
going to be rough.
But I think they actually don't play a super easy schedule. I mean, you have to play TCU, which a lot of people I feel like are sleeping on. I mean, they made the national title game last year.
K-State and TCU back to back.
Yeah,
which
you play K-State, you play Oklahoma, and you play Texas Tech. So I think that was my other loss that I was going to talk about is Texas Tech.
I go to seeing that from you.
Is Texas Tech. So I know people on Twitter are going to be peed to say the least. Shout out to College Football Meme Zone over on Twitter though. Huge Texas Tech fan, huge Texas Tech troll, and I know he might be one of the only
I was
ones.
a fan and a troll.
Well, like a troll of other teams.
Of other teams. Oh,
Yeah,
I got you.
Yeah. But yeah, I like Tyler Shuck. I like Joey McGuire. I like what Texas Tech has, and I think they're going to sneak in, beat Texas in a week that they could ultimately be competing for a college football playoff spot because I think they play them in one of the last weeks of the season.
do.
So it's going to be a huge game for Texas. I think Tech comes out on top, and it's going to be a fun season to watch, though.
And when I was kind of looking at it, I was like, that Tech game, I was like, it kind of reminds me of Tennessee. I could 100% see the Texas team being like, oh, we might actually make the playoffs. You know, like we're ranked like top 10 in the country. We went out and we're almost in, and they come out there and lose, and it's just like heartbreaking.
Yeah.
I know Tennessee fans were not.
Sure.
I don't know. I wouldn't say you weren't expecting it at all, but it happened, and we all kind of were like.
I wouldn't.
I would say you were pretty shocked. About that one.
I think everyone was shocked. It was
And
one of the,
that is the exact way that Texas fans would be after
It was
this
one of the
game.
most mad I've. It was maybe the most mad I've ever been. Oh my god, that game made me so mad.
Last year, man.
You know how much I'm sure Spencer Rattler's a solid guy. I don't have anything against him personally. Watching him play though, I do not like him.
You
Okay.
lost like 63-17 to TCU. Oh my goodness.
Like
There's a permanent scratch on my phone because I tossed it. It was
the South
terrible.
Carolina game was a game. It was like a melting pot of just piss off. It was terrible.
It all went downhill for
I
Tennessee.
was at my girlfriend's house for that game. So number one, I couldn't even be that mad, or else it was just gonna be like, "What is wrong with you?" And not even from her, just like everyone around me. It was just terrible. And then we started getting just smacked, and then it was like 14-0, and we went 3-and-out, and I was like, "We are going to lose to South Carolina." So we punted, and then Spencer Rattler came off the field, did the 6, threw the remote, turned the channel. The King of Queens, and did not watch the rest of the game. I did watch Hendon Hooker tearing his ACL.
That was a very sad moment. I
was
feel
terrible.
I don't even care that I hate Tennessee. That was a very sad.
I remember exactly what I did. I was sitting on the couch, and I watched him tear his ACL, and I got down on my knees, turned away from the couch, turned away from the TV to the couch, put my head in the couch cushions, and just sat there.
I mean, everybody knew it was his ACL. Everybody knew he was done. It was just it was a
actually
terrible
see
moment.
Gamecock fans on Twitter trolling about the Hendon Hooker ACL thing, which is honestly talk about piss off is one of the most piss off things.
That really
I've
doesn't
ever.
make sense. The one thing I do not like is Tennessee fans being like, "If Hendon Hooker was healthy that game, you're winning." No, you weren't.
Who said that?
I've heard
If
Tennessee
people
fans.
say, I don't think we were down by like
You
20
weren't. It was like
points.
21-0, and then he got
no,
hurt.
no, it was worse.
Was it like 28-7?
No,
at that
it
point?
was like in the last. It was like third
No, it was-
into the third quarter. I promise.
I think it was like into
we were
second.
getting smoked.
Yeah, it
because
was not close.
It was like we were having to get up and go and try and score.
Yeah.
And he ran and tried to juke. God, it was terrible. It was bad. It was bad.
I
Anyways,
hate that. He's
I
a great
digress.
guy. He's a great guy.
He is. Come on the show. Anyways, Texas Longhorns though, Ben. They lose Bijan. They lose Roshan Johnson. And this quarterback room though, aside from Quinn Ewers being pretty good at football, obviously that's a known fact. Aside from Arch Manning being a guy who's a 5-star quarterback, he's one of the better quarterbacks in the class, highest rated quarterback in the class by multiple outlets.
I think it's the highest rated basically ever. High. You can't go much higher than 100.
Yikes. But no, I mean, this quarterback room, Malik Murphy is a guy that is majorly slept on.
I think
The pictures,
some people might like him better than Arch Manning.
yeah,
right
I
now.
mean, and the pictures of them in the weight room, dude. Did you see those pictures?
Yeah, I know it's.
I mean-
it's kind of weird. I don't like looking at it like that, but like, yeah, they're all freaks over there.
Yeah.
Not like that. Pause. I mean, like,
Yikes.
I mean, like,
is that Ben's
like
first?
build. No,
is
I
that
mean, like-
Ben's first pause moment?
I mean, like, like builds.
I'm a pause.
over there.
I'm a pause moment machine, but I've never heard Ben. That's bad. Anyways, no, I mean Roshan Johnson, Bijan now on the Falcons. Roshan is on the Bears. I actually, while I was getting my haircut today, was watching a little thing on the Bears. Newcomers
Is it
Darnell
Sports
Wright
Clips?
from Tennessee. Yeah, Sports Clips. Shout out to Sports Clips.
Nah, they
man.
messed me up once, and it's
Really?
just terrible. Yeah.
They always got me right. Is that when they buzz your head on accident?
No.
Is that when they?
that was my
when-
mom.
No. When
No,
you-
that was Great Clips. That was like a
okay.
random Great Clips.
Tell the story, Ben. Go ahead.
Which one?
The one where I'll tell the story, as heard from your mom.
The Great Clips?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know. It was terrible. We went in there. We were like, let's get these quick haircuts and get on with our life. And so me and Daniel said what we wanted.
Okay, so Ben has a brother who's older by a couple of years. They look kind of similar, not like
really don't think it's that close.
identical, but
People say it's close. It's, not
it's
that
pretty similar. And then he has a younger sister as well. Go ahead.
But yeah, so we were like, we gave him what we wanted. Like we asked him about it, and then we got the haircuts. It made absolutely zero sense. They gave me what Daniel wanted and Daniel what I wanted. It was just terrible. Like we both just came out there and we were like, what just happened? It was just atrocious. I mean, I've had some terrible haircut experiences, man. Like I was at sports clips that one time. I said like we were talking. We were like it was like an inch off, and she never stopped. I was like, "What are you doing?" And I didn't-
You should have. Why
I
would you
should
let
have
him?
said something. I didn't say anything. And
Why
she
would
just
you
kept
let
on.
him buzz your head? At
Just
Great
kept
Clips?
on cutting.
You got to be like, dude, I didn't ask for a buzz cut. I mean, I'm sure if they take the clippers out and just like,
I know.
like, what are you gonna do? Tell them to stop with like a slice out of your head? That's brutal though. No, I went, man. I went to Sports Clips today. I actually switched it up. I'll show you after the pod though. It looks like actually like different, but no, man, they're good though. Like they got my Mel over there, man. Dude, she got me right each and every time. Sponsor us. Anyways, Texas Longhorns keep getting
gal.
ripped off. Okay, chill. We
No,
keep
sorry.
getting.
I didn't mean-
we
I didn't mean like
that's our
that.
second pause moment of the
It's
show.
not a pause moment.
Yeah, okay. We keep getting ripped off the tracks here, Ben. Talk about the Texas Longhorns.
Sorry. I do like though when we do like 3 teams, we can definitely do that.
No. That's what I'm saying. And I guess a little, not really behind the scenes, but when we were trying to kind of figure out what we were going to do, because we only had so many episodes left and we only had, so many conferences that we could talk. Like, we were like, what are we going to do? Because we're not going to talk about the ACC in both parts in total. And then we kind of came to the realization, like, who wants to talk about Boston College when we can break it up and try and talk about, like, TCU and, Notre Dame and North Carolina and all those teams. That's what we're trying to bring to you. Plus, it's on an hour and 50 minutes. It's probably 45 minutes to an hour. If we have small talk like this, it gets a little bit up, but it's really not bad at all. Plus, like you said, have a lot of time to kind of small talk, tell the Great Clip story, and all that stuff. So, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. And like you already said it, but Quinn Ewers in charge of a very deep quarterback room. Maybe I could see him like maybe they trade out quarterbacks at one point in the year. You know.
You did say he was getting benched a couple episodes ago.
And so I that's just a saying. I really do not see that happening. Losing Bijan creates a lot. It creates a lot of gaps. They have a few candidates in the running back room. They got Jonathan Brooks, Keelan Robinson, or C.J. Baxter. Cedric Baxter. He's a monster.
All American. Really like the guy. I actually
number one coming out of in the class. Number one RB in the class.
I'm glad we talked about him because I actually we're going to talk about Zachariah Branch in just a little bit.
Yeah, I do. Have it.
So when I was doing Breakout Stars and when I guess just kind of preparing to talk college football in general, I watched like clips and highlights and this and that interviews from the Under Armour All American game. Dude, Cedric Baxter, man,
He's a
he can
dog.
move the chains, and it's not like he's going to break off a 50-yard run every time, but he's going to spin out of a tackle and instead of getting 2 yards, get 4 or 5 yards. He's shifty. I mean, he's number one running back in the class for a reason. So,
yeah.
I mean, he really brings something special to Texas. Obviously, like you said, Keelan Robinson, I expect him to be RB1. But, dude, I like C.J. Baxter a lot.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I like their receiving room a lot too. Moving on to that,
A.D. Mitchell.
A.D. Mitchell. I don't know why you said that over Xavier Worthy.
Well, yeah, I know. I'm just saying,
Xavier
like,
Worthy, I think he has Blitnikoff potential.
Sure.
I wouldn't say it's there. He has potential.
Yeah.
I think he honestly could do it. He is a demon. Jatavion Sanders.
Love the guy.
That's your guy. That's
Love
your
the
guy.
guy.
And they have a multitude of solid receivers out there that, like you said, A.D. Mitchell, Jordan Whittington.
Yeah.
Jonte Cook, who I think he was committed to Tennessee, and then, or maybe all were in his top 2, along with the guy that's extremely similar, Isaiah Nair, who is
Whatever
back.
happened- I mean, dude,
He is back from injury.
he was like, he's going to be slept on. He was good at Wyoming.
Isaiah Nair? Yeah, no. He's
Like, nasty at Wyoming.
he just popped back up, and I mean
He tore his
he
ACL
did come
in
off
camp
it.
last
Yeah, he
year,
tore his ACL. I remember talking about that.
Yeah, I do too.
Basically a year ago.
Yeah.
And so we are back, and Isaiah Nair is back. So we're gonna see what he can do.
I think it's going to be good. I do like that receiving room, though.
Yeah,
You know,
it's deep.
A.D. Mitchell,
It's
like,
deep.
went to school in Nashville.
Yeah. Where'd he go? I knew that.
Cane.
Cane Ridge.
Yeah, he went out there.
Okay. Yeah.
That's
I remember because we
crazy,
were
though.
talking about it. They sent a
Yeah, I
picture,
didn't
and it was
know
like,
that.
yeah.
I thought he went to. I did not know he was. I did not know he went to Cane Ridge.
I didn't, but I remember it being brought up.
Yeah, I mean,
how
I
he
feel
did.
like their football team's always decent, but Brandon Miller comes from. They're producing some guys.
They
over there,
really
I
are.
guess.
It's just a random man.
Yeah. Anyways, I think this Texas team's going to be pretty solid on offense. Like you said, like Jatavian Sanders, like Jonte Cook, like Isaiah Nayor, like all those guys in the receiving room are good enough to be wide receiver ones at a couple of schools around the country. So I like what they got. Obviously, Xavier Worthy, one of the nastiest receivers in all of college football. Biletnikoff potential. If they can figure out that quarterback situation, obviously I know that Quinn Ewers is the guy, but we need to see him actually start throwing the ball, whipping
Slinging
it
it.
around, slinging it around.
The offense to win some games.
Yeah, and really get Xavier Worthy involved. I know he had a couple drop problems like late in the season. I do
Yeah.
remember that. So if he can get all that figured out, Quinn Ewers finds him as the number one target. I think they're going to be great on offense.
I mean, Quinn Ewers last year, 2,177 yards, 15 touchdowns, 6 picks. I mean,
So mid.
he was very mid, and he had a 58% completion. I mean, he was still he was
But I guess counting stats wise can be a smidge and a lot different from like actual stats or like actual on field performance.
yeah.
And I think while his counting stats were mid, he did miss like a little bit of a couple games. His counting stats were mid. I think it definitely showed though he was better than mid. I think he was above average to good. I think he was a good quarterback last year.
Well, I think he was very serviceable.
He's
And
going
I
to
mean,
push for really good to a star this year though.
I think he is exactly what they need over there.
Yeah.
And I think he does the job well. And so that about Quinn Ewers, and also this year he'll be playing behind a very studded O line.
Yeah.
I pause. I didn't like that one. Sorry. And so Kelvin Banks, who was a freshman All-American last year. I mean that guy's a dog. I think all starting 5 offensive linemen are returning.
Okay.
And so that they have plenty back there, and I think they're very set on the offense in the trenches.
In the trenches. Ben, you want to take the defense?
I can start with the defense.
Go ahead,
Galen
brother.
Ford.
All right.
Defense side of the ball. I guarantee you have not heard of him.
I've heard his name.
No,
I don't know his
You have not heard of him.
stats.
I'll give you the little stat line here.
Go ahead.
119 tackles.
Okay, how would I not hear that guy?
119 tackles.
Like that's not like he was like a scrub last year.
No,
Like,
he was a monster.
That's what I'm saying. So how would I not hear his name?
I had not really seen him much around. He's not talked about. Is
Yeah,
what I'm saying.
that's fair.
Like
Okay.
like Demarion Overshawn, who was like
Overshawn, yeah.
Overshawn talked about.
Cedric Gray is kind of the same guy. Like he's really good. He's just not talked about.
Okay,
it.
so I'll give you a stat line: 119 tackles,
Yeah.
2 sacks,
Okay.
4 picks,
Sheesh.
2 forced fumbles. I mean, he was all around.
He
the
was
ball.
all around. He did
He was
everything.
all around
versatile.
the ball,
Yeah.
and very solid defensively. It almost fully returns, which is solid on the defensive line, and the secondary is weaker. They are hoping to improve that. You know, they bring in my guy, who I actually was very high on last year, Jalen Catalon.
Okay. Yeah. Oh,
I think he
from
got-
Arkansas.
Arkansas.
The
I think he got
He
hurt.
hurt his hip. He hurt his hip.
But he's transferring to Texas.
Yeah, that's an
I'm
underrated
excited to
portal.
watch him play.
He was good.
I was excited for him at Arkansas.
I vividly remember talking to Ty Richardson when we had him on to talk Arkansas in episode 7. It's been a while, but
Golly.
I do remember having him on talking Jalen Catalon in that defense. He was a dog, man.
Yeah.
Against, in that Cincinnati game, he was really good. Earlier in the season, he was really good.
Yeah,
so
I'm very high on him.
Texas Longhorns, I got him 10-2. Ben, what do you have him again?
10-2.
10-2 from the boys here on episode 55. You ready to get to our last team? You know who it is. It's the USC Trojans. Let's see if I can actually do something good here.
Very smooth.
Oh, no.
See, that's why I told you to number them.
Yeah, you're right. You're always right.
Okay. The USC Trojans, I'm going to start it off with them.
Go ahead.
And, you know, it's a team we all know who you see when you talk USC Trojans. And so we'll get to that. I've got the ceiling being 12-0. Florida at 9-3. I've got them going 11-1.
That's the same exact thing.
I have them losing to Utah. The wins
you
are
did say
every other
that,
team on
yeah.
the schedule. The hot take was that they lose to Utah twice. I think my just take here is that they lose them once. I think they could definitely 100% beat them again, like the second time around.
Yeah, I don't know. They have ceiling's 12-0. All right, floor's 9-3. It's hard, and when talking to a Michigan fan about the Big Ten East thing, he was like, "We're not losing to Penn State." Okay, like I understand that as a fan, you're not. Same thing. Talked about Georgia. I said 11-1. We're not losing to Tennessee. Like I understand that, but it is hard with like willingly let a team go 12-0.
Oh, for sure.
Like it's almost it's so tough to let yourself predict a team going 12-0 because it's so tough to like that's
It's so tough to go 12-0.
That's elite of the elite of the elite. You could have the easiest schedule and it's tough. If you play Georgia's schedule, I think a lot of teams could go 12-0.
Well, this year, but like last year, we were like, oh, Georgia might be set, and then they almost lose to Missouri, and it's like, whoa.
Yeah,
And
and
games
that's
like that happen. I mean, stuff happens.
So
And
I do have them going 11-1.
this schedule does not.
I think they very possibly the chances are probably at 12-0 higher than a lot of other records. But like you said, they've lost to Utah in past years. That seems to be their kryptonite. I am rooting for the Utes. I'd love to see the Utes go out there and do something. Oregon and Washington, obviously both top 25 teams. I think they could both go in there and beat them. It's really the Pac-12 is so deep. You got a lot of teams who could go in there and beat USC this year. And it's not even because they're just better football teams. It's just because, it's the Pac-12. It's college football. Anything can happen. So we'll talk about Caleb Williams first. I mean, he's a friggin' Heisman winner. He threw for, 4,500 yards and 42 touchdowns on only 6 picks last year, 382 yards, rushing 10 rushing touchdowns. He accounted for 52 total touchdowns for USC last year, Ben. Tough to say it doesn't hurt to let him walk there, eh?
I remember that little moment in between when Lincoln Riley left and when Caleb Williams was debating his decision.
Bet you wish you stayed.
I was scared, and I was really hoping that he stayed. And I think it really was. I think when Lincoln left, we brought in Venables, and then immediately we brought in Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah.
And apparently Caleb Williams was actually like debating staying.
Well, he would have beat Dylan Gabriel out for that job.
And then we brought in Dylan Gabriel. I was like, do y'all not want me or something? So we just left. So it was like, well, that one's unfortunate. So that one hurts. We really could have used him last year. I will tell you that. We could have used these type of stats. But he's a great player, and he has the ability to win 10 games for this team.
He has a clear ability to win 12 games for this team.
I thought that, like I said, that he like might win this team all of their games, but like defensively, I think that was the problem last year. They didn't need the defense to like.
Did you see what he said about the Tulane game though?
No.
He said that they didn't even want to be there.
Yeah, I mean that team clearly, which is why it should have stayed at Oklahoma. I mean,
but
the culture over there is just terrible.
But I mean,
just kidding.
I think the overall, the idea that they should have they wanted to be in the college football playoff. They just lost to Utah.
Obviously, I mean it's kind of like. But we saw Tennessee go out there and absolutely whoop and like.
But Tennessee was not a team that was you're going to the college football playoff. That was like a dark horse. USC, a lot of people predicted.
If y'all would have beat South Carolina, you would have been in the playoffs.
No, that's what I'm saying. But from the jump, from the beginning, a lot of people said,
all right, that was their
USC is
expectation.
going to the playoffs.
Yeah, that was their expectation.
And whether that was fair or not, it's what the media, what their coaching staff, honestly probably thought they could do. And unfortunately, they didn't do it. They didn't want to be there, and they got bit in the butt by Tulane. But Dorian Singer does come in from Arizona.
My goodness.
They got a couple Arizona transfers. I will say, the West Coast going strong.
Yeah.
I mean, he is a Biletnikoff candidate. He was in 2022 looking to replace Jordan Addison. He's now with the Vikings. But yeah, I mean, the guy had 1,100 yards, 6 touchdowns last year. Very solid. Obviously, Jay Delore is a solid quarterback. He's no Caleb Williams. So it's going to be interesting to see what he can do with a new quarterback, with a new Heisman-winning quarterback. And I like Dorian Singer, Mario Williams, Brendan Rice. Both those guys are going to be solid. Not to mention, like I said, we were going to talk about him. 5-star receiver, Under Armour All-American with some speed, Zachariah Branch.
He is so fast. He is lightning in a bottle. And I've heard that saying before. No, bottle.
You said bottle.
I said bottle, but I got a kind of accent to me. I said bottle first off. He is a monster, and a guy that also in that recruiting class 5-star, Deuce Robinson. This team does not have a certified.
A 2-sport athlete.
He did play baseball. I think OU. He was debating.
That came up.
That is bold. He is a monster, and they really did not have a certified tight end last year, and he has that potential.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Austin Jones is the RB1. You lose Travis Dye to Oregon. Nope. You lose Travis Dye in general. He came from Oregon. Mixed up my words there. But Marshawn Lloyd does transfer him from South Carolina. It's going to be hard not to make this guy RB1.
Another
Honestly.
5-star in Raleigh Brown.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that
That running back room is deep. It's crap.
I really hate talking about this team. It's every player that was committed to OU
Yeah, that just flipped.
that just flipped. Like
transferred or
Malachi
whatever.
Nelson
Yeah.
was committed to
And
OU.
I have
He's
it here in my
absolute-
notes. This team is going to be bright in the future, man.
Dude, they are set.
Zachariah Branch, Deuce Robinson, Raleigh Brown, Zachariah Nelson, Malachi Nelson. I keep mixing up my words,
Yeah.
but I mean,
And that's
USC
that's
was
what Lincoln
number,
Riley does.
They were number 8 in the 2023 class. So far, number 13 in the 2024 class. Obviously, that's probably going to go up, I would imagine. But I mean, you're in Southern Cal, you're at USC. The NIL money is just through the roof at that point. But I mean, even before NIL and even before all that, I feel like Lincoln Riley was one of the better recruiters in college football. And people want to play for that offense, you know?
That's what Lincoln Riley does.
Yeah.
They do want to play for that offense. And then, never mind. I'm not going to go into it again. But Lincoln Riley does that. He gets great recruits
Yeah.
on the offensive side of the ball.
And-
And he does what he needs to do for that offense.
They have the number 3 transfer portal class,
They do.
according to 24/7. They bring in a couple guys on the offensive line. Jarrett Kingston comes over from Washington State. Michael Tarkeen from Florida, and Emmanuel Pregnon from Wyoming. Pregnon is a redshirt sophomore. Other guys are seniors, so that's going to be their last year. But I think Pregnon coming over from Wyoming, he's a guard. So that name's just rough, but he is a guard. He's going to be pretty solid for him. And 7 of the 11 projected starters on this USC defense are all transfers.
Yeah. And, I think we know the main one,
Bear Alexander.
your guy.
Yeah, Bear Alexander. My dad ran into him at the airport or something like that in Phoenix.
I think you said elevator.
Yeah, elevator. That's what it was. They were staying at the same hotel for some reason. Big guy. Kion Bars, Christian Roland Wallace, both from Arizona. It's a D lineman and a DB. Jamil Muhammad, who played at Vandy and Georgia State, transfers in. Like, they got a lot of guys. They got a deep class. I'm interested.
Mason Cobb as
Yeah.
well from Oklahoma State, linebacker. I mean, they really Alex Grinch did a good job in the transfer portal.
See what we can do on the
See if
field.
he can do a good job on
Yeah,
the field.
there you go.
And there, I wrote down a guy. I really don't think USC was happy with this guy last year, but Eric Gentry. He's
Okay.
a 6'6" linebacker with speed, and I mean that's really like he's a unicorn
Yeah.
on the field, and I mean that's something that you really enjoy. And Kalen Bullock,
Okay.
he had 5 picks last year. I mean
Sheesh.
he was an absolute dog, and they need these players to step up. And they're going to need the defensive side of the ball to help
They
them
brought
out.
in the dudes, right? They brought in the dudes. They've kind of got to start getting the scheme thing wise. They got to start meshing with chemistry and all that good stuff. So USC pulling it together on defense is going to be the most important thing. We both got them 11-1, but like I said, it's just hard gut feeling to put a team 12-0, and it could very well happen. So I like this team a lot. I have them in my projected playoff as of right now, and I think it's hard not to put them in the playoff. You know,
I think like I understand that. I think they're closer to 10-2 than they are to 12-0.
I disagree with that a lot.
I don't.
Really.
I'm not saying I just think that they will lose, and I'm not saying it's because of them. I'm saying it's because of the schedule. Washington, Oregon, all those teams are great offensively.
Yeah.
And I mean, the defense will have to do that. And I mean, I'm clearly not saying that the offense can't keep up because that's just not fair. I mean, they 100% can. I just think they are closer to a team that could lose 2 games and win all of theirs.
Okay, I feel like that's a pretty hot take. I think they could go 12-0.
I think both are reasonable.
Yeah, I mean both. I wouldn't say out of the question that this team goes 10-2, but
I mean, I wouldn't.
I think they go. I think they go 12-0. I honestly, I think they. I predict them to go 11-1 because it's tough, but 12-0 is not out of the possibility. I think this team's really talented across
No, I mean,
the
it's
board.
possible.
Defensively is the only thing I'm worried about. Right, playing the air raid offense with Michael Penix in it, with Roma Dunzi and all those really good receivers that they've got. Plus, you're playing Bo Nix and Oregon. Plus, you're playing Utah, a team that's beat you the past couple of years. Like, defensively, Alex Grinch going to have to get himself solidified.
I mean-
Or else, the ceiling is maybe the college football playoff with a bad defense. So, we'll see, right? We saw Tennessee have an electric offense, pretty bad defense, didn't make the playoff, came back to bite them when they let up
Still solid.
63 points in one game, though.
It was still solid.
Yeah.
But this team, I think they are more well built than
Yeah, I think they have a lot more talent defensively than Tennessee does. So, I think
Yeah.
they're just going to have to get the scheme thing wise. Like I said, chemistry is important as well.
It's not me saying that I don't think they can go 12-0. They can go 12-0.
Yeah.
It's just I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
If they come out here and do it and I see it, then sure, yeah, go ahead and go 12-0.
Sure.
But I just haven't seen that yet from them, and I think they could do it this year, though.
Yeah. Well, that will wrap it up for for the 55th episode of the Southern Boy Sports Podcast. It was a good one.
Yeah.
If you're listening on Apple or Google, our two new services to the show, we do appreciate you. Make sure to leave us a 5-star review over there, trying to build up our reputation. If you're listening on Spotify, make sure to leave us a 5-star review, like and subscribe over on YouTube and TikTok, all that good stuff. You can follow us at so_boy_sportspod on TikTok, at so_boy_sports on Twitter, at southern_boy_sportspod on Instagram. Last 2 plugs of the show. This beautiful hat from the College Station Collection at the great people at University Traditions. Make sure to use code SBS15 at checkout over there. It'll get you 15% off your purchase at universitytraditions.biz. They're dropping great stuff. I know they got a Magnolia collection for the Mississippi people. I know they got a rolled toilet paper and oak tree collection for the Alabama people, for the Auburn fans. And a lot of good things coming from University Traditions. Use code SBS15. Would help them out, would help you out, would help us out. Benefit of the doubt goes to everybody here. It would really help us out. And visit laststandhats.com, Ben. They got officially licensed Texas gear from a bunch of schools in the state of Texas, all the way from Stephen F. Austin to the University of Texas, everything in between. They got golf polos, hats, stuff for the kids, stuff for the wife, stuff for you, stuff for the NIL side of people. They got NIL team ups with a bunch of different athletes in the state of Texas. So a lot of good things going down. Code Southern Boys will get you 10% off your purchase at laststandhats.com. So make sure to go check them out. They're doing great things. But that's all the plugs I got, Ben. Episode 55 is wrapped up.
It is.
Any objections? Closing in on college football season. Next episode we do, we're going to be a day away from starting the school year.
We will be. That'll not be fun.
That's going to be a rough. That's going to be a rough night.
Oh man.
That's gonna
Oh
be
man.
brutal. That's
It
gonna
is.
be-
It is. It's the first day of school, man. That you don't really do that much work, but
It's
you're
just
back at school.
It's a brutal feeling, yeah, for sure. All right, well, that'll do it for the 55th episode of the Southern Boy Sports Podcast. Same time, same place. Next week. See you, boys.